Hello, YouTube. The Ukrainian Scientific Research Center for the Study of Anomalies, ZOND, in the year 2012 began a series of publications based on the materials of their archive, which contains reports on observations of non-trivial aerospace phenomena, meaning UFOs, as well as other anomalous phenomena. They have a number of the Setka documents. To find out about that Setka, please see the video that I have included URL of in the description of this one here. So I do not need to repeat the underlying information about this fascinating and secret program that ran in the Soviet Union for 13 years, plus a few more years under the Russian Federation, from what we know. The Ukrainians hoped that this information would be useful to researchers of anomalous phenomena. That would be interesting to their readers and will also improve the qualification level of the observers of anomalous phenomena, which is always a laudable thing to do, and I applaud their efforts. So let's look at the document. The author of the letter that became part of the Setka documents, describing the observation in 1967, which will now be discussed, was a resident of Volsky, that's in Russia. He was flying as a passenger on an Aeroflot Il-14 flight on the Zaporozhye-Lugansk-Volgograd route. The phenomenon, according to the description, was observed on the Voroshilovgrad-Volgograd section. The flight altitude was 1,800 meters. The speed was 300 kilometers per hour. The passenger's seat was at the window. And the eyewitness noticed an object in the form of a crescent moon in the sky, much higher than the airplane. At first, he mistook it for the moon, but soon he saw the real moon. This unknown object began to approach the airplane. As it descended, the outline of the crescent moon disappeared. The object acquired an oblong appearance, and the color changed to purple. A shower of red sparks appeared behind it, and for a while the object flew at the speed of the airplane. Then the speed increased, a strong flame appeared, and the object rapidly flew away towards the Volgograd airport. That was the end of the visual contact. The Il-14 aircraft arrived safely at the airport by 20 hours. During the observation, the eyewitness attracted the attention of a neighbor who also could not identify this phenomenon. The pilots also said that they had encountered such a phenomenon for the first time. The eyewitness arrived home at 22 hours Moscow time and told his wife and son about the incident. The son replied that at 19 hours 30 minutes, he observed a flying cycle, which when it descended acquired a blue color with a purple hue. And some stars flew out behind it, and then the object rapidly gained altitude again. Having read the text of this message, letter, the Ukrainians drew the following conclusions. With a fairly high degree of probability, the phenomenon was observed by several eyewitnesses, respectively. Its reality is confirmed. The object was observed by the pilots of Aeroflot. Their comment about the unidentified object confirms the anomaly of the phenomenon. They explain the visual fixation of the shape change by changing the viewing angles. The color change can also be explained by this. which gives rise to the assumption of a shiny surface of the object. The hypothesis of a color change due to heating and cooling is unlikely because the description of the maneuvers does not correspond to an aircraft with such speeds. The fire could be explained by the operation of a jet engine, but the stars flying out of the rear make one doubt this. Trouble-free maneuvering near the aircraft as well as over a populated area suggests the purposelessness of movement. Thus, we are dealing with an anomalous phenomenon, the description of which, along with other similar ones, sheds some more light on the nature of such phenomena. However, research must continue, and the solution of such observations is still a matter of the future, concluded experts of the Ukrainian Scientific Research Center for the Study of Anomalies, ZOND. That's its name. Look, I agree with them, but I have very strong doubts we will find out anything tangible about the continuous classified research conducted by official entities in the USA, Russia, and China. Meanwhile, I've been doing my own research, and I found confirmation of the event, I believe. UFO sightings in the USSR, issues 1 to 3, compiled by Felix Yurevich Ziegel. And basically, it was an underground publication in the USSR. There are two cases to consider. We do not know what month the sighting took place in 1967, so I will look at both cases. The first one is from June of that year. I will recite its translation. At the beginning of June 1967, at the 11th hour in the evening, my wife and I saw a glowing object. It was shaped like a crescent moon, with the outer edges being brighter than the inner half. The weather was clear and the moon was shining. Walking along the path, along the bank of the Hopper River, we looked at the moon and saw this unknown body. It moved from west to south, passed over the moon, and began to increase its speed, although it was moving quickly over the horizon. Then it seemed to disappear. A bright trace appeared like after a meteorite that I once observed in the Pamir Mountains. Then the UFO appeared again, very far away from us. Gavriluk, Volgograd district, Kumiltansky region, Stanitsa Slavsheskaya. Before I go on to the July 1967 case, I want my audience to see my video about the Hopper anomalous zone. I have been in touch with the local researchers there since 1990. If you remember the Voronezh events case, well, they've seen a few other strange things there. Now, let me tell you about the July case, direct translation. I had to observe a UFO on July 8, 1967 at 23 hours local time in the Volgograd region at the workers' settlement Yelan, 300 kilometers from Volgograd in a straight line. Dr. Boris Likhadeyev and I were in the courtyard and talked about various things. Then we saw an orange object in the shape of a crescent moon. It was moving from west to east, and a tail appeared behind the crescent moon like a comet made of small stars. As it descended to the ground from 45 degrees to 20 degrees, the tail appeared from behind and appeared in front. The movement stopped, and this luminous UFO disappeared towards the forest. At that time, the moon was shining, the weather was excellent, without precipitation and thunderstorms. The sky was clear. Signed B.G. Likhadeyev, Elan Workers Settlement, Street Trudovaya 7. So what can I tell you? If we look at the color of the observed UFOs by the two eyewitnesses in June of 1967 and July 1967, it's different from what was reported in the Setka case. So we're dealing with crescent type UFOs, and I have more examples of them in my books observed over the Soviet Union. I think in some cases we're just dealing with top secret military tests, but not in all cases. You see, missiles do not follow aircraft, do not change flight attitude, do not exhibit intelligent behavior. And that's what I think was observed in the Setka document. So we will continue looking at examples like this from the Soviet UFO history and, of course, Russian UFO history. Maybe one day we'll get more confirmation, but Setka cases are really, really fascinating. I want to thank you for your attention to my work, and I'll bring you more stories and cases from the Soviet UFO and USO research. If you like my work, please support me through the links you'll find in the description to this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like my videos. Thank you.